In this live stream, I'm going to walk you through 55 of the best questions to ask your clients when designing their logos to get the best grasp of what they want in a brand identity. If you're new, I'm Bradley, the CEO, owner, and head designer of the graphic design marketing firm BDesign. And our mission is to help you build your influence and impact in the graphic design world faster. Let's get started. Knowing which questions to ask when designing a logo can be difficult. You don't want to look stupid by asking the wrong kind of questions. You don't want to overwhelm your clients by asking too many questions. But if you don't ask enough questions, right, you could waste hours designing a logo that doesn't match what the client is looking for. I've been there. It's not fun. Trust me. So in this live, I'm going to show you a few questions to help you start thinking through questions to ask when designing a logo. I've brainstormed 55 plus ideas you can use as a starting point. But when thinking of questions, keep these 3 things in mind as you're deciding which questions to ask. First of all, steal these ideas. I want you to believe knowing which questions to ask when designing a logo is key to the success of the logo design process. Then 2, I do not suggest you to ask any client all of these questions. It's way too much. Keep it as simple as possible without leaving out important information. Then 3, using the questions as building blocks. If they lead you to better questions to ask when designing a logo, then alter them. I have broken them up into 5 categories: company and organization questions, branding questions, design preferences, target audience, budget, and proofing. Let's take a closer look at each category, shall we? We're starting off with company organization details. When deciding which questions to ask when designing a logo, consider all the details you will need to know about the company or organization you're designing for. For starters, try these. What sets your company apart from others? And what services or products does your company provide? Why should I choose your company over your competitors? How long has your company been in business? How big is your company? This may be answered in a number of employees or revenue. Just FYI. What are the strengths and weaknesses of your company? Where do you see your company in 5 years, 10 years, or even 50? Who is your main competitor? Now, this is a main one because you need to know who you're competing against when designing the logo. Why was your company founded? Why was it started? Was it created to fix a problem, help someone? Get the details on that. What motivated you to start this business or organization? Then moving on to branding, to the branding questions. The questions to ask when designing a logo aren't just about the logo itself. They're also about the overall brand of the company and the image it portrays to the public. Be sure to address this. So here's a few ideas. Question number 1. If you had to describe your company or organization in one word, what would it be and why? If your customers had to describe your company or organization in one word, what would it be and why? Do you have a current logo? And that's another important question to ask, because you'd like to know what type of get ideas of what logo they're kind of looking for. If yes to above, what elements from the previous logo would you like to retain? Then what is the reason for modifying or redesigning your logo? How old is your current logo? And what is the positioning or mission statement of your company? Then, does your company have a tagline or a slogan that you would like to include in the logo? What do you hope your company can be known for, which you can always incorporate into logo designing? What do your customers recognize first when they see your logo? And this one comes with a lot of testing and error and redesigning. And why does your company use the colors, fonts, etc. that it does? Now moving on with design preference questions. If you've ever had to deal with a client who can't quite put their finger on what they want to do or what they don't like, these questions are the best kind to ask to help them clarify their own taste with their own taste of design and what they want for a logo. What color palettes might you prefer and why? Where will the logo be primarily used? Are there any elements you would prefer to see in the logo? In your opinion, what defines a well-designed logo? What is your preference in reference to icons, typography, spokespeople, characters, and etc.? What restrictions, if any, might there be on the logo? What words or icons must be included in the logo? What logos do you like and why? What logos do you dislike and why? In your opinion, what is the primary purpose for a logo? And then finally, what are the likely occasions in which the logo will be used. These are all questions that should be at the top of the list to ask. Then target audience. When asking questions about the logo, don't forget to address the target audience. A smart client will focus more on what appeals to the audience than to themselves. Here are a few to show you what I mean. First is, who is the primary target audience? Who is most likely to use your services or products? Who currently uses your product the most? Rather, if it's kids, teenagers, adults, or elderly adults. You need to get all that so you can figure out what colors to use, because colors and images and graphics are all differently designed for different generations. For kids, it would be more cartoonish. Teenagers, it would be a little less cartoonish, but a little more advanced. And then with adults, there's a possibility that just photo stock images would work better. You have to figure all that out. Then are you pleased with the range of people your company services? Because there's a possibility if they want a complete rebrand, they want to reach out to a different audience. Or they may want to add on to their audience. Rather than just servicing kids, they may want to move up to teenagers. Then are you looking to expand, modify, or completely change your target audience, which I just discussed? Then how do you plan to focus on your target audience? Rather that's with commercials, or print media, or social media, all that ranges differently for what type of audience they want to target. For instance, with kids and teenagers, you may want to target social media more. Or with elderly adults, you may want to target TV commercials more. Next, what are your main forms of advertising? Whether that's social media, TV commercials, or so on. How do most of your customers find out about your company? Which gender are you targeting? Where do you most of where do most of your client customers live? Whether that's in warmer climates, colder climates, Florida, or anywhere. All that ranges differently for your target audience and different ads. Then what is the average income level of your target audience? Then next, there's budget and timing. Last but not least, when asking questions about logo design or any design, it's important to nail down details about budget, timing, and scope. Because you need to know how fancy you're going to be able to make the logo and the amount of time. Because you shouldn't make $1,000 logo if they're just gonna pay you $50. You need to get all that situated. You have to design the logo within the budget that they're paying you and within the time and the deadline. Budget and timing questions. How much money do you plan on dedicating to the logo design? Like I said, that's important because how well you do the logo all depends on how much you're gonna make on it and how many revisions you plan on making. You should try to figure that out, figure out a limit, because with me, I only do 5 revisions, at most 10. Any more than that, I charge extra, because it takes a lot of time and effort in redesigning a logo numerous times for just the amount of pay that you're getting. And when designing a logo, I always ask for half down before I even start designing, because I've had a lot of times where someone comes to me to design a logo, and then I design the logo, and then they just ghost me. I spend days designing the logo, talking to them through the logo design process, and they keep telling me to revise it. Just in the end, them stop answering my messages, or they decide to go with someone else that they didn't tell me they were with, and their logo design that they came up with. That's why I design contracts for my clients to sign before I even start, and I require 50 down before I start. Next question. How many initial concepts would you prefer to see? Now, concepts and logos are different ideas. Like, you could design a logo that has a mascot, and then you can do another logo that's a logo type. Different concepts of logos. Then, what sort of deadline are you working with on this logo? Because some clients may need the logo within a certain time. Like before a company or business opens, there may be a deadline of getting that logo so they can get printed advertising done and sent out. Then, do you foresee any needed modifications in the near future? And now this question is another one to get answered, because you may want to try and keep them as a client rather than them deciding to go with a different designer. You may want them to come back to you for more business. And you want to make sure that door is open and they know that you'll be willing to modify it if need be in the future. And then, what is the primary reason you choose to do your logo work? Then moving on, which is the most important for you? Quality, speed, or cost? Which I keep bringing up, because quality will be more, with quality logos, it takes time and it requires funding. Whereas speed, you need time to design a logo. Speeding a logo, the logo never turns out well when you speed it. With my logo, with the BDesign logo, I had numerous versions of it. Bunch of different colors, bunch of different ideas, and it took me close to 2 years to design it and make it perfect. And then cost goes right back up there. If they want a really good logo, they'll be willing to pay for it. But if they want the cheap version, you can't give them a high quality logo for that. The next question is, are there any special events or promotions on which the completion of the design depends on? So you want, if it's for like a yard party or a barbecue or a town event, you may want to try and make the logo ring around that. Like adding if it's a backyard party or barbecue, you add a little grill in it, in the logo, as a mascot or whatnot. And then this is another question you should keep in your book: is will you be needing any other services in addition to this logo design? And that's how you can get them to pay you more, by doing more work for them, like designing business cards with the logo, or designing brochures with the logo, or flyers with the logo, or posters with the logo. You need to figure all that out. And you want to try and keep them on as clients. And now I got a little bonus for you guys. A little bonus question that will bring a little more money into your life. Are there any design pieces I can help you with? Would you like help consultation in defining your target audience, or anything else I have asked you about? Do you know anyone else who is also looking for a new logo design? Finding all that out, you can charge extra, like defining their target audience. If it's a new company or business, you can help them out with all that. And all that would cost a pretty penny. Trust me, because it takes time and effort, and a lot of trial and error, and a lot of test marketing. Now, keep the conversation going. If you have any good questions that you ask your clients when designing their brand identities, be sure to share it down in the comments to help BDesign and anyone else who happens to find this video. If you got value out of this live stream and you would like more live streams that will bring you value, like this one, consider subscribing and smashing that like button. and we will see you next Wednesday for another Live with BDesign 680. Keep on dreaming. Bye.